Hello and welcome back to our favorite spin-off show, Make Me a Musical. It's just me and Andrew today.
It's just us, but, we're the classics. We're the original.
Yeah, that's extra spicy when you have brie. We're like original recipe.
Sometimes you come back to the original recipe and you're like, you know what?
Not bad.
That's why I fell in love with it. That's why I'm here.
If you remove either one of us from this equation, it just falls apart. It doesn't work, Andrew.
It's true. It's very true.
All right. So today, last minute idea, just spat it out into the universe. We are turning the classic Tim Burton film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, into a musical. In the vein of like Beetlejuice, where we have a Tim Burton movie that became a musical, or like Sweeney Todd, where you have a musical that became a Tim Burton movie. It's all cyclical.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely into this, and I almost feel like this already should have been a musical, and it's kind of bizarre that it isn't.
It's like an extreme enough like tone and complexity of story where it's like, it's a clear goal. It's like heightened reality. It's redonkulous. It's a fun story that if you add songs will just add to the fun.
Yeah. Well, where do we begin, I guess?
I guess we have to begin with setting up the universe. Like, I don't think we need to have the bike race that starts off the movie. I think we can just cut into Pee-wee starting his day and about how great his life is, but simultaneously how much worse he makes everyone else's life by just existing and being happy, which I feel like is a common trait with Pee-wee in the same way as SpongeBob.
Pee-wee Herman and SpongeBob are kind of the same character in a lot of ways, so having this be similar to the SpongeBob musical would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. So literally we just start with him being like, it's a fantastic Pee-wee Herman day. Oh, that's actually a really fun idea for like a song number where he's just like, it's Pee-wee Herman day. And everyone's like, I thought it was Pee-wee Herman day last week. He's like, every day's Pee-wee Herman day.
You got to get someone who can do the laugh, too. He's got to do the laugh.
Oh, they've got to, like, have it. I think Paul Rubens could probably still pull it off as the thing.
You might be right. I'm not sure how old he is at this point.
He's like 60, but he looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Well, either way, we got to do that. We do have to introduce the bike, though, because that's kind of...
Well, no, like, this is just setting up Pee-wee's world. Like, this is replacement for, like, the breakfast scene and all that. It's like him just going about his morning and making everyone's life worse in the process.
I kind of want to incorporate the breakfast, like, Rube Goldberg
Oh, of
song.
course. Like, no, like, that would probably be, like, an instrumental, like, orchestration choice as opposed to, like, an actual, like, you take the Pee-wee Herman Day theme and turn it into, like, the kind of orchestrated Danny Elfman style there.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm definitely into this so far. Pee-wee Herman doesn't really need an I Want song outside of getting his bike back, right?
His I Want song in the second scene is like basically an I Love song of I love my bike. Which
yeah, and it's just like
if anything were to happen to you, I'd destroy them.
He will do anything for the bike.
Yes.
He will get the bike. No matter what, the bike is his.
Yeah, I think this song needs to be like more complex than me and my bike, but it needs to be like something pretty direct like that.
It needs to be simple. I mean, this is going to be a show for children, I assume.
No, I think this is like going to be slightly edgier than that. Not much edgier, but slightly.
All right.
Because I don't want to lose the dark moments, because the dark moments are great.
Yeah, but it's dark moments for kids.
I don't know. Some of the stuff in this movie could terrify an adult. Large Marge.
Large Marge is not that scary, okay? Doug Walker has tricked everyone into thinking that moment is scary.
It's unexpected, I will say that. And I think just stop motion in general, the lack of motion blur kind of messes with kids' minds, like, and makes you think it's scary.
I suppose, yeah, because it's the rest of the movie is normal, like
the clown scene,
and
the clown scene, like the hospital scene where they're like operating on the bike, but they're clowns. Come on.
Okay, you know what? No, you have a point.
Tim Burton insanity. They just let him go off the rails for those bits.
It's good though, man. Pee-wee Herman Pee-wee's Big Adventure is great.
Yeah, it's the only good Pee-wee movie because I didn't like Big Top Pee-wee and I didn't like Pee-wee's Big Holiday, the Netflix movie.
You can't recreate the magic.
I mean, you need that Tim Burton insanity, in all honesty. I would be very interested to see what Tim Burton would do if he came back to that.
Okay, so we have to have
Francis. We got to introduce Francis.
Francis, so he can take the bike, I think.
Okay, here's my pitch of a song. Follow me here. Literally, his villain song is titled "I Know You Are, But What Am I?" Or it could just be called "What Am I?" Like that's a fun response to the "I Know You Are, What Am I?" song, and he turns that into this dark "What am I? I'm the man that destroys your life. What am I? I'm Francis, and I get what I want."
Oh, I'm down with it. It's funny because it's like a schoolyard taunt, so it works with the Pee-wee world, but it also
could be dark.
Sort of fits. It fits the setting and the character. We can definitely work with this.
Okay, then the follow-up number to that, we don't need a song for Pee-wee discovering the bike's missing or anything like that.
No, we do that all. He just does that.
The next scene is the scene where he's gathered everyone into his basement and he's pointing Exhibit A. That scene.
Wait,
that brilliant scene.
I think, actually, no, I take it back. I think he should have a reprise of his I Want song when he finds out the bike is gone.
Yes, but I think they can't be the moment it's gone, because remember, he gets put into a hospital gurney and talks to the police. It has to be after all that, when he's going home, "You're the best bike in the world. We had our life together."
Yeah. Okay, so the next scene is he gathers everyone in the basement.
I just want to make sure that scene's in there, as a small little number, because it's a fucking weird scene for one. And just the time when there's this guy dressed in Indian garb in the front row that wants to ask a question. He's like, "Do you have something to say to everyone else, Amazing Larry?" Who is that guy?
Oh my god. So you want a song there, or are you just saying you just want it in there?
I want
that scene?
I want that scene in there. I do not want that scene cut. I think the next song number should be a give and take number with him and the fortune teller that tells him the Alamo's in the basement, and it just should be very painfully obvious that she's making it up in a goofy kind of fun number.
So a charm number for the Madame Ruby.
Yes, she needs that moment where it's it's in the basement of the Alamo. Everything is true, I promise. Something like that. You paid me the money, so it must be true.
Yeah, no, I'm open to that for sure.
Now, this is where I think we should derail from the movie a bit.
The movie kind of just goes off into
road trip land.
Road trip, and I don't know how well that works on stage.
I think you should take every single set piece and try to reconfigure what would be the most visually interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should have the prisoner character, the escaped prisoner. I don't like him. I didn't like him in the movie. He felt weird.
Yeah, I remember liking the waitress.
Yeah, that's much later. We can't get rid of her. She's slightly important. But we kind of need to find a different way for Pee-wee to constantly get place to place. Maybe even just a travel
I feel
song.
Large Marge is too well known to not
Yes,
include.
We keep Large Marge. Basically, I think this scene, instead of having the focus on the guy that escaped prison and all that, just a random him going from car to car and random characters and the goofy ways he annoys them to be kicked out of the car until he eventually ends up in the middle of nowhere in the dark, and Large Marge picks him up. So we skip that entire subplot of the escaped convict.
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with skipping the escaped convict. It's not necessary, and it's not really that great. So,
and I think Large Marge, we kind of need to change that. That's definitely its own song, that entire moment. But I think the way we introduce it might have to change.
I feel you have to tell the story of Large Marge in song and then have her show up.
I think have her show up and have her tell the story, but we frame her as this really nice lady, and then she slowly, as we, the audience, discover she is Large Marge.
What if as the song goes, it gets darker and switches into a minor key or something, and the set becomes darker and like,
eventually
the
building up
costume
like to the
changes.
like actual like creature coming out.
Yeah.
I like the idea that she's like, "Oh, hi, honey, my name's Margie. Come on, hop in," and like everyone just like is like put on at ease initially, and then it just gets darker and darker.
I'm definitely down for that.
I think that's a good way to spin it, so it's not exactly the movie scene.
I don't exactly know how you make it feel like it makes sense in the show, because even in the movie, it's kind of just like there.
Well, then she drops him off, and she's like, "Large Marge sends ya." And then he goes into the restaurant. Same thing. It's like, that happened 40 years ago this very night, which means that was her ghost.
It's like, yeah, I got that.
They all say it in unison. That scene's great. Then he meets the waitress there. They hang out, and her boyfriend comes and tries to murder him. I think we keep all of that.
Yeah, we can keep all of that.
And then he just goes to the Alamo from there, if I remember right.
Yeah, he goes to the Alamo. Does he go to the Alamo and then he goes to the motorcycle bar, or is it the other way
motorcycle
around?
bar is way after that.
Okay, yeah.
So I think like the moment he's like, "I'm almost there," like he gets up and he's like, "I'm at the Alamo." That's our Act 1 break. Like, I get to go to the Alamo. I get to have my bike back, and everyone else has their like, "I want one day more" song. And he replies like, "Today is Pee Wee Herman Day," and then we end Act 1 on that.
And then we open Act 2 with him discovering that the bike is not there.
Yeah, no, Act 2 needs to open with like the Alamo tour and him getting frustrated. Then the end of that song, like it has to be like a fun patter song, like a Gilbert and Sullivan number, and he's just getting more and more frustrated at how long this tour is going. I think that's a fun way to open Act 2.
No, actually, that's a good idea. That's much better than anything I had.
And then eventually it ends with him like, "Oh, there is no basement at the Alamo, you idiot." And he just storms off. And then he gets chased by the boyfriend again. I don't know if we needed to like go to because he does end up on like a horse and for a bull riding scene. I don't like that. I don't want that.
No, we don't need that. And like, what are we gonna do? You'd like bring out like one of those fake bowls or something. Like, it would just look dumb.
I do kind of want to have like an unrequited love song for Dottie, so I think that would be a good time. Like after he discovers it and calls her, she like has a little love song where she's like, "Why doesn't he notice me? I just want him to take me to the drive-in and finger me or something."
I don't think we go that far in the Pee-wee show.
You're right.
You know. Yeah, no, we can have a Dottie song, because Dottie's like not even really in this that much.
No, she's like the agent at home, the one connection to the house.
Yeah, we'll give her a number. And
well, then we basically can just
go
to the cycle bar, because basically after that he's just on his way home to try to figure out where his bike is. So he's heading home, and he needs to stop at the motorcycle bar for a phone call, and that's what triggers all that.
Yes.
So it's just as much of a non sequitur as the Large Marge thing, in all honesty.
Are we going to have him dancing to the song at the motorcycle bar?
Oh, yeah. It's like the Deo moment in Beetlejuice. You can't not have that.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and then...
And that scene ends with him getting knocked out or something, and then ending up in a hospital, dream sequence, and then waking up and finding out that his bike is in Hollywood with the horrible brat child.
Yes, and then he has to break in
to Warner Brothers Studio,
to the set of Space Jam 2.
Yes,
and he has to steal the bike.
Yes, Space Jam 2. It has to be that. LeBron James is on retainer every night to be in our movie, our musical.
Yes, I mean, it wouldn't make sense without him.
He's an important aspect to the story.
Yeah, and LeBron James plays himself, and
Bugs Bunny is there too.
Bike. Bugs Bunny has Pee-wee's bike.
Bugs Bunny has to be, or retconning a bit from the movie to make this our own. It has to be the set of Space Jam 2, and LeBron James and Bugs Bunny have Pee-wee's bike.
Yes. Okay, so Pee-wee sneaks into the set.
Yes. Does he still dress as a nun, or?
I feel like we can change the gag and just have him dress as different stuff.
What if
maybe he has to try to...
He dresses as Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny? Yeah, we could do that. He dresses as Lola Bunny because he's trying to get into the set of Space Jam 2.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense. So he dresses as Lola Bunny, and he sneaks onto the set, and do we have him, like, reprise his bike song when he sees his bike again, or...?
No, it's when he starts riding it. When he starts riding it again, he reprises the bike song as he rides through the studio and everyone's coming after him. And this is the time you can use stage techniques to have a chase scene. I think this is the time where you could have a lot of fun with, like, practical staging and all that.
Yeah. So really, this is one of those things where Act 2... I don't think you'd need that many songs because it's going to be a lot of like action set pieces almost.
Well, Tequila is the big like moment.
Yeah, and then I think at the end we just have a Pee-wee sing Pee-wee's Great Day or whatever song again, and they go to the drive-in.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't have to see it. I lived it.
And then it's over.
Yeah. Then you have the reprises. Francis gets thrown into Next Century, and LeBron James shows up to the movie premiere. LeBron James plays Pee Wee Herman in the movie version. We got it.
That's actually we've got it. We've solved everything.
Tim Burton, WB Productions, hire us. We got your Pee Wee Herman musical right here, waiting for free.
It'll be way better than whatever that Netflix movie was.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
They de-aged him, like, digitally. It's kind of weird looking.
I don't know why they would do that. Just let him be the age he is.
I know. The thing about that is it's kind of like a romance love story with him and, like, some famous actor, where he's just obsessively in love with him and wants to hang out with him.
That's weird. I kind of feel like Pee-wee as a character, he should be allowed to get older. Like, you know? Why do we have to de-age people? I don't like it. Not a fan.
I mean, people shouldn't be allowed to get older.
What are we, elves? Like, my God.
Yeah,
all right.
Humans should be elves.
Who would write the music?
I hate to say it again, but Cyndi Lauper did do the theme song to Pee-wee's Playhouse. She did sing the theme song to Pee-wee's Playhouse.
This is just going to be a running gag. Like every other episode, you're going to say Cyndi Lauper.
I mean, the thing is, in a lot of media from that time, she is connected. I was shocked to see she was connected to that Rugrats movie. This one, there is actually a connective tissue.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the right choice. I'm not even saying she's the right choice, but that is something to bring up.
Cyndi Lauper writes the music.
I don't even know if I'd agree with that. You know what? I think, honestly, the guys that did the prom would be really good at this.
I'm wondering if this should be similar to the SpongeBob show, where we kind of just get some famous people and have them all input their own songs. I feel like this is the type of show where that could work pretty well.
I think so too, but also, what kind of bands would you do? Like, what are some of the artists you're thinking of?
I would say you could just get, like, pop stars and maybe some, like, rock groups. I don't really have anyone in mind. I don't think Pee-wee would work well with
like
hip-hop,
the Broadway song. I don't think he'd do well with the Broadway sound, to be honest.
He wouldn't do well with a Broadway sound. I think he needs somewhat of like a pop mixed with like movie score type stuff.
You know who would probably do an alright job and probably get the vibe if we like gave him the money and interest? Neil C. Sariga. Like he would get the Pee-wee vibe, right?
I think he would be honored to do something like this.
Like he'd bring his weird things and like bring in the references and shit. I think he'd be great.
He does have that song on his new album that uses the Pee-wee Rube Goldberg theme.
Yeah, he does.
All right, well we're running on time here.
Are we?
Is there anything else? Anything else we need to go on? I thought it was 20, wasn't it?
It's a half hour, but we got it.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought we limited
No,
these
it's
to
30
20.
minutes or less, but we usually hit around 25.
All right. So we do have time.
We have time.
So what else we need?
What kind of visual style do you imagine for it? Like more like bombastic, like the SpongeBob musical, or something a little bit more tied down? Does it feel more like Pee-wee's Playhouse or Pee-wee's Big Adventure? I think is my question.
Okay, I think it needs to fluctuate between the two. You need to have some parts that are very bombastic, but in order to make those parts feel as bombastic as they can, we need to have other parts that are very grounded.
I agree.
So I think parts where he's like talking with the waitress or something should be very much like
normal musical theater style.
And someone there just on stage and they're just talking. But then immediately preceding that would be like scenes where we have a giant puppet monster on stage or something like that, you know? Like you want to fluctuate between the two to like really give the feel.
I have a question now that do we keep the dream sequences? The clown dream sequences, the weird
we can incorporate them as like dream ballets or whatever.
Oh, that would be so insane. Kind of funny. That would be really good.
Like imagine like the clowns like dancing around, and
I'm into that. I love it.
Okay, no, I mean I think there's a lot to work with here, and I think
let Neil Cicerega just take it from us. It's all his.
I'd love to see that, and I would love to see Paul Rubens come back and do it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he has been to Broadway as Pee-wee. He did the Pee-wee's Playhouse Broadway show about 8 years ago, and that was actually really fun. So he still got it, and he still can perform on stage as his character.
Yeah, give it to him again, and this time we do Big Adventure.
Yeah, I feel like he wouldn't want to retread old ground, but I think we should also have Tim Burton on as consultant. I feel like having his input would actually be very helpful here.
As much as I don't want to say yes to that.
Oh, shit. You know what just hit me? Danny Elfman is a very acclaimed songwriter, and he would probably do a fucking bang-up job writing all the music and lyrics for this.
I mean, I was kind of going to say that, but you were, like, off on Cyndi Lauper land, so...
Cyndi Lauper land. Fuck you. I get what you're saying, but Danny Elfman would knock it out of the park.
Okay, what if we did Danny Elfman and Neil Cicerega, and they team up?
I would actually love that.
I think that would be beautiful.
I think Danny Elfman would be game too. What's he doing?
Danny Elfman doesn't even do anything anymore, does he?
Do the Oingo Boingo sound. Embrace your Oingo Boingo.
Honestly, I don't even think Oingo Boingo plays anymore.
No, and that was his best stuff. Better than like his actual stuff. His actual like soundtracks. His score to the Justice League is like embarrassing.
Why would they have him score the Justice League movie?
Because they wanted to have the Batman theme in it.
Just put the Batman theme in it then. Why do they need him?
Apparently he I don't know. It was bad choice. That movie isn't good. I don't know if you know that. They remade it recently and made it 5 hours long. Yeah,
also the Batman theme does not fit with the new DC universe.
Not at all. It's like putting like a good skin over a bad movie.
Because isn't the Batman theme is not like it's a gothic sound, but it's definitely it's more like
it's very stylized.
It's very stylized. It's like I don't know. All I can think of when I think of like the DC universe is that Zack Snyder desaturated like Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why anyone watches those, and I kind of I don't know. I guess I heard the Zack Snyder cut is better, but I don't know. I'm not gonna watch it.
All right, guys, we just made you guys a musical in less than a half hour. How'd you like it? Would you go see the Pee-wee's Big Adventure musical? I honestly, I think I would. I think it would be great.
I'm not against seeing more Pee-wee on Broadway, and I didn't know that there was a Pee-wee's Playhouse show, and I don't know why we haven't done that yet. But...
It's not a musical. It's just a straight play, like a live version of the Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's a lot of fun, but it's not meant for us.
Okay. That's fair.
All right, guys, we got a real episode coming at you this Thursday, and you're going to love it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we have a guest on for it. We'll see when it comes out. Andrew.
We don't even remember our own show.
We don't know our own lives. All right, guys. See you
guys
soon.
Have a great week.
Make it a good day.